Good afternoon, everyone. I am so excited to be able to share some time with you all today and talk and share with you a little bit about our newest tool over at Reconstruction. My name is Takara Marzette, and I am just going to name this is a little awkward for me. This is my first time presenting virtually to a room of people, not knowing who is there. So my nerves are here, but I'm gonna breathe through it. But my name is Takara Marzette, and I am bringing you greetings from Reconstruction, where we provide unapologetically Black curriculum to students in school districts across the country. A little bit about myself because I believe in bringing my full self into whatever space I occupy. As I said, my name is Takara, and I serve as the Director of Partnerships here at Reconstruction. In addition to my work here at Reconstruction, I am a mom to two beautiful daughters. I have a seventh grader and a kindergartner. I am someone who has a very, very strong faith, and I believe, again, in showing up fully as myself, and that's a part of who I am. And then the last picture you see there is me back in my teaching days. I am a former educator. I taught for 9 years. I was an administrator for 3 years. This space of educators is very special to me because I taught in the charter space and worked in the charter space for all 12 years that I was serving as a traditional educator before coming over to Reconstruction. So, again, really excited and happy to be able to share some time with you all today. So, let's get into it. What is Reconstruction? So, Reconstruction, we are the number one provider of holistic, supplemental, culturally relevant curriculum that's centered on the Black experience. And we believe that our comprehensive solutions help to create transformative learning experiences that inspires student empowerment and help to equip teachers to effectively educate on culturally responsive content. We've been doing this work since 2020. We've actually done some work with some charters in the Pennsylvania network. And we've been doing this work traditionally through our live tutored courses. We have live tutors that we train, and then you all would give us the students, and we would teach directly to students. We have over 150 courses that schools and districts could choose from, and our tutors would teach directly to those students using Zoom. And we've also added another product to our line of services, which is teacher professional development. Because in addition to providing the direct service to students, many schools and districts were asking, can you provide training to our teachers so the same sorts of mindsets that your reconstructors and tutors have, can you train our teachers to have that same sort of mindset and help them to start thinking about content and culturally relevant content from the Black perspective in different ways? And we have tapped into that. The other piece that people have always asked us about is, can you just give us your curriculum? And for a long time, our answer has been no. We have really held tight to our curriculum. We've been fearful of just giving it to whomever to teach. However, our CEO is the former chancellor of DC Public Schools. And another superintendent came to her and said, you know, Kaya, getting your curriculum in the hands of an okay teacher is better than them not having it at all. And so we've been spending time thinking, how can we do this in a way that's easy to get it into the hands of teachers, where it's not putting too much pressure on teachers to think of everything themselves? And so we're excited to share our newest product, which is Onyx. So, what is Onyx? Onyx is a content generator, and we are using generative AI. I know this whole thread of today is around AI and innovation, so we're really excited to be able, as as an organization that centers Black joy, Black culture, and Black education, we're really excited to be a part of this conversation because that's not something that happens often. And so, what Onyx is it is a content generator that uses generative AI as well as the expertise from our curriculum team to help teachers develop culturally responsive content with just the push of a few buttons. Teachers only have to enter in the grade level, the subject, the standards, and whatever topic they want. And Onyx will generate content that teachers can then use in their classrooms. So I'm going to spend some time actually showing you all what Onyx looks like. Make sure y'all see my screen. All right, so this is what Onyx looks like. So as teachers log in, they will see these three options. They're able to generate a lesson, they're able to review any lessons that they've created, or they're able to tap into, as I said, we have over 150 courses that we have developed, and we've actually uploaded a few of those 150 courses, those lesson plans aligned with those courses into a resource library. So, in addition to the generative AI that teachers can tap into, they can also tap into some of our courses that are already written. But today I'm going to stick over here in our Onyx side. So, teachers will select generate a lesson. Currently, we only are offering ELA and math because we want to make sure that we have a great hold on these two subjects before we go into science and social studies. However, what you'll see when I generate some of the content is that it is already cross curricular in that it's science and social studies infused into it. So I'm going to start with math because I really, really like our math stuff. It is some of the dopest content that I've seen. If I could go back into the classroom, I kind of want to go back into the classroom just so that I can experience this with my students. But teachers will select the subject, the number of lessons for today's demo. I'm just going to show one. They select the grade level, and we'll say second grade. Here is where teachers then can select the domain and standard. Right now, we're using Common Core standards. However, as we continue to add in new releases, we are going to have state-specific standards. So teachers would be able to select their Pennsylvania state standards. But right now, we are using Common Core. And as a reminder, we're supplemental. So this is not meant to replace anything that teachers will already be doing in their classes. So they would select a domain. So we're just going to say geometry. They would select the standard that they want. We'll just select this first one. And here is where the cultural relevance comes in. So teachers can select from people, places and events, or culture. And when they select a category, they then get more drop-down options. So they can write in their own topic if they want, or they can select from a list of recommended topics. So here you then get more drop downs and more options. Again, we really try to make this as easy as possible for teachers. So it's taking a lot of the thinking away from them and putting it on the tool. So we're going to say scientists and mathematicians. And we'll go with George Washington Carver. But if I didn't see someone I wanted, I could select this refresh button and it would give us some more options. But we'll do George Washington Carver. So you hit submit. That's all it takes, and the lesson is now being generated. So, one thing I will share what's happening right now, many of us have played around with AI, have played around with ChatGPT. Our tool uses a lot of the technology that ChatGPT does. However, one of the main criticisms of AI right now, especially by educators, is that ChatGPT and many of the AI tools out there, they'll generate whatever you want them to generate. And sometimes that may mean generating content that is not appropriate for students, that may not be accurate for students, or may not be standards aligned. And so, what we have done, in addition to utilizing the technology of ChatGPT, we've also filtered in our own personalized filters that remove bias, that allow to ensure that the lessons that are being generated by our tool are standards aligned, are factually accurate, and are appropriate for that particular grade level that was selected. And if our tool cannot do all those three things, Onyx will not generate anything for the teacher. And again, that is because we want to ensure the content that is being put in front of teachers is accurate, is standards aligned, and it is appropriate. So it takes about 2 to 3 minutes for Onyx to generate a lesson. While we wait for Onyx to generate the lesson that we put in, what I want to share with you all is an example of a lesson that I have pulled before. So give me 1 second. So this is what will be generated as teachers play around with Onyx and put in their inputs. It will give you all a summary of the topic that teachers put in. So this one was around the flags from Ghana. It gives you the standard. So the standard that I put in for this one was drawings of geometric figures. And what Onyx will do, it does not generate a lesson structure that we are familiar with, the I do, we do, you do sort of lesson. It won't generate something of that nature because, again, Onyx is meant to be supplemental. However, what will be generated is lots of content that teachers can choose to use in a number of ways. So we see here, it gives a summary so teachers can have some quick tips or information about whatever the topic is. We see the standard, and then we see a story. So this story is providing rich text about whatever the topic is. This story can be used in a number of ways. It can be used as a do now for for students. It could be used as a homework assignment for students. It could be used in centers. You could even go on ahead and tell the ELA teacher or social studies teacher, hey, I'm doing this topic in math. Can you have the students read this article about flags because we're going to do something with it in math class. And then this is where the cultural relevance and the math is blended. So if you remember, the standard that was selected was around solving for scale of shapes. And you see the three math tasks here. Traditional art form, flag maker, you've been asked to create a new Asafo flag. The new flag should be in the shape of a rectangle. If the length of the flag is 5 more feet than twice its width, and the total area of the flag is 60 square feet, what are the dimensions of the flag? So this is an example of a standards aligned math task that is related to the topic of flags that we set. In addition to the math tasks, we also get some collaborative discussion suggestions. So these aren't questions that are related specifically to math. These are questions that are related to the topic. And again, allowing for the cross-curricular opportunities for students to think differently about the topic, to see how this topic is relevant to my world, because again, that's the whole point of cultural relevance, is to ensure that it is just that, relevant. I will pause for a quick moment for any questions. Doug, I know you said you would put some in the chat, so not sure if any have come in, but I will pause really quickly for any questions. All right, seeing none, let's check on our lesson. Oh, I see one. Is the curriculum available for all grade levels? Yes, it is available for K all the way up to 12. So you see our lesson on George Washington Carver is now completed. So teachers will simply download. And here we have the lesson, or excuse me, the content. So a quick summary of who is George Washington Carver. We see the standard here, the objective, and then we have the story of George Washington Carver. When it's about a person, it breaks the person's life down into chapters. So you'll learn about their childhood, you'll learn about the middle of their life, and then their golden years. So you see here, we have lots of text about Dr. George Washington Carver. And then here are the math tasks. Very related to who he was. So we know that he was a botanist. So we see that this particular content that's generated here, talking about different types of plants, categorizing plants. We see dividing into parts. Again, shape, recognizing shapes having specified attributes. And I'll be sure to post these 2 lesson plans that I share with you in the app so that you all have an opportunity to look a little clearer at them, because I know it's probably hard to read on the screen. We continue to see more math tasks. Dr. Carver found a leaf that had 3 angles. Can you draw a shape that has 3 angles like the leaf Dr. Carver found? What is this shape called? So again, taking the standard and taking the culturally relevant content about Dr. Carver and blending these two together so that you get culturally relevant and responsive content that is applicable that students can see and manipulate in their minds and have some sort of connection to it. I will pause again for any other questions. As I wait for Doug to put any other questions in or any other questions to come to mind, I would love the opportunity to have more time with you. I know this was a very quick, bite sized presentation, but I would love the opportunity to connect with anyone who has any other interest in the program or in the product so I can show you all a more in depth demo. I was hoping that I could be physically with you all today, but I am a bit ill and did not want to spread any germs. But I would love to be able to do more of a one on one demo with you all. I see some questions coming through. What kind of collaboration to make available to schools? We work directly with schools. We can work with districts. We have a couple of charter networks that we're working with right now in Chicago. We're working with some schools out in Tennessee. So yeah, we can work directly with the school or we can work with the district. Right now, we are looking for participants to help us really just get feedback because one of the things we know about AI is that it gets smarter the more people that are on it. And so the way that we're currently offering the product is based upon the number of teachers. Many schools and districts are choosing to start small with a pilot of about 10 to 15 teachers at their school using Onyx and playing around with it and giving feedback. Because again, I used to teach, and no teacher likes to feel like this is another thing that you have to do. But getting those teachers that are eager to bring in culturally relevant content into their classroom, that's one of the ways that we've seen a lot of schools and districts kind of bring Onyx into their curriculum. Because again, it is purely supplemental. We are not trying to replace whatever curriculum you currently have and offer to your school and students. We want to support what you offer. I am on the Hoover app. I am checking it out and responding to any messages, emails that come through. So please, please, please feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any additional questions. How do you provide support? I'm not really sure what that question is asking. If it's asking, how do we provide support to teachers? We offer professional development. So we do offer professional development that comes with purchasing Onyx that shows teachers the different ways that they can use Onyx or use the content. So as I said, we've had teachers take the stories and break them out into do nows. We've had teachers use the stories as homework, how to incorporate the math tasks into what you're already doing. We do provide professional development for that. We also, any participants and folks that use Onyx are added into a community where they have direct access to our curriculum team. And our curriculum team hosts office hours twice a week. So if teachers are like, hey, I'm getting stuck, I need some help with trying to generate a lesson on this particular topic. Heather, our curriculum manager, she will be on there twice a week to work directly with teachers. And the pricing is based on per teacher, not per student. It is per teacher. And the levels of support are regardless of however many teachers you get. Regard if you put 5 teachers on or 25 teachers on, all teachers will have access to the live office hours with our curriculum manager, Heather. They'll also get the initial professional development on just how to use all of the content. So I have just gotten my 2-minute warning. So I don't know if there's maybe one last burning question. But if not, this QR code that you see on the screen directly links to my calendar. If you wanted to schedule some time on my calendar to meet with me directly and learn more about the product, I can connect you with other charters that have been using Onyx. So if you want to like think through how could we make this work at our school, I'm happy to do that. But thank you all so, so much for your time, and I look forward to connecting with you all soon.